Hello, Barbara Moreau here again from Ancient Wisdom Trail. I wanted to share the importance of researching. When I first started wanting to know more about what happened to our people, like I wanted to know our family roots, and I started talking to my mom. And in the whole process of me waking myself up, I would visit my mom and I would get messages and I would share it with her, and I'd ask her specific questions about our teachings, our history, where our family came from. And in that whole process, we helped each other. I did lots of research over 10 years in doing historical research, right from the beginning of Christianity, right down to ancient stuff like the Sumerians and religion and the witch trials and the purpose of residential schools and why the teachings had come from the Western culture. Why did they actually come here? And I needed to understand that so that I could know why our people are sleeping and to know why our people don't totally embrace our teachings. The importance of researching history is a process of waking yourself up. It's a process of saying, I know why things have happened, how they happened, and the choices that were made behind it. What was the intention? Because with everything that I was reading, I was like, now I know why. Now I know why we have these beliefs. Now I know why people think that way. I don't have to take it. I don't have to take it to heart anymore. I just have to start sharing what I've researched, and not to push it on anyone, but just to say this is what I learned in history, and this is why we have these belief systems. This is why people live in fear. This is why all of these things have happened. So researching is important. Many horses and I had a huge list. I'll just go off the top of my head. Residential school trauma, PTSD, witchcraft, religion, women in history, and when the rules of marriage came in, because our rules with our ancient cultures, it was unconditional and total unity and best friends. Where did the change happen? Where did the change happen? And Stockholm syndrome, assimilation process. How was Canada created? What the purpose of the creation of Canada? What teachings did the leaders have when they created Canada? And all of these different things, so that I can understand everything in history and how it has had a ripple effect right into society, right into our teaching systems, right into our homes, right into our own lives, where now they are beliefs. And I've had to rewrite a lot of my own beliefs, and I've done that over the years, and I've learned to become more unconditional, more understanding, not taking things so personal, and sitting back and saying, okay, and teaching myself, if this gets to me, if this really kind of gets under my skin, then I need to look at it. Where is it taught in history? Where did I see it? Where did I learn it? And I would admit all of these things, especially where I seen it, who taught me, and who did it to me, and where I first did it. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm reacting because I did it. I just haven't admitted to it yet. So you always allow other people to be indicators and to show you your triggers, to see where you need to heal in your own past and where you need to admit things. And admitting is just talking to yourself. When I first did it, I honestly felt really, really silly. And after a while, I just kind of got used to it. So it's like not really talking to myself, it's talking to my own spirit. It's talking to my guides. There's no judgment on the other side, so I can basically say anything I need to say to get out those feelings that I have, to get out those memories and those things that were flashing in my mind. And I would talk about it in great, great detail. What it looked like, what it smelled like, what it felt like, what had happened moment to moment. And as I'm talking, I would clear that energy off my body, or, so if I got hit or if I was yelled at, things like that, I would clear that energy off my body because it's getting stored in the memory cells and DNA. So understanding history gives you the idea and knowledge of where it came from, so that you're okay with it. And you'll get to that place when you realize that everyone is totally innocent. You'll even realize that you were innocent. You made choices in your life based on the teachings that you grew up with. And once you realize, oh my goodness, I can face it, I can admit it, and I can actually change it. After you do the research and the self-work with letting it go and understanding and forgiving. You can easily do more research. We all know what unhealthy relationships are. How many of us have researched healthy relationships? So research healthy relationships. They ask you key questions that you can ask yourself, and it'll give positive suggestions. And anytime I do research, I always follow my gut feeling. Does this feel right to me? And it's like when I used to read a lot of books and to look for self-help books and stuff like that. Sometimes it'd be only one paragraph that I needed out of the whole book. But that helped me tremendously. So my teacher had always said, my first teacher, Andriana, she's on the other side now. She always said, be discerning. Take what you need and leave the rest, because your gut will always tell you whether that fits you or not. So it's really important to teach yourself to be open, to learn new belief systems, to learn different ways of thinking, different ways of seeing, different ways of perceiving, and changing your perceptions. You know, because if we keep staring at ourselves in the mirror and look at your nose and keep saying, look how big my nose is, your nose is going to look this big on your face because you're focused on it. But if you look at your face as a whole and you see how balanced it is and how perfectly symmetrical it is, excuse me, that you'll notice that your nose fits your face. You know, everyone is made unique. And once we start accepting ourselves for just who we are, and start talking to your body saying, I love you, I honor you, I believe in you, and I accept you for just the way you are. Self-acceptance. Once you accept yourself, then it's so much easier to accept things that are around you. And it's a really good process to have in your healing walk and in who you are as a human being.